Hey y'all, it's the Evolutionary Change Coach with childhood background part 2. This part might be a little bit longer and a little bit more deeper in detail because I actually wrote it down more than just more than just on index cards. Now, like I said, um I have posted episodes 1, 2, and part 1 of 3 on the YouTube channel. There are tasks in each description box. I don't remember if I put, I actually had to go back and look in the description box for episode 3, part 1. I don't remember if I put the task in there or not. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. I really don't remember. I gotta look. I might have. But even if I didn't, I'm gonna put it in this one too. So that's what we're gonna start with. But anyway, so just a little recap. I did start on the childhood background. I gave you more into myself just to give you a little bit of what I have actually went through, the things that I have actually, and had to actually start learning to change, to bring certain changes and certain things to my life that I needed to let go of or just do better in and take better steps at. Like I said, I actually wrote down more in depth of what I didn't put in the video because the video got cut off. So I'm doing part 2 now. And I do have my index cards too. I got some I got some orange in here that goes with childhood background as well. And then I did finally finish all of the pink cards. So it's different topics with those, but I'm not going to go into detail about those because I want to stay on topic with the background now. So go back and make sure you watch part 1 to give you a little bit more feedback and a little bit more intel. Like I said, everything to reach out to me and actually email me your responses to the tasks and things like that are going to always be in the description box. The way for you to actually, link with me and actually sign up for the virtual classes as well as the as well as in person is also in the description box. So all that is in there. All that is always going to be in the description box. How to reach me, how to contact me, the test, everything. Because like I said, a lot of the questions in tests are individual and they are private. A lot of the questions and things that I'm asking you or that you're going to do is actually, you don't want everybody knowing those types of things. That's just between me and you to help me help you. To help us help each other, for me to get to know you, to build somewhat of a profile, to actually begin to know where to begin, what we need to start to break down on, if that makes sense. So my childhood background, like I said, I wrote this all out. I wrote out what I needed to say because sometimes I trip over my words a little bit, and I usually do just go off what literally comes from my mind because that's what it is. And then I'll think of more stuff that I could have added after the fact. So that is also why I wrote down stuff. Just to also, like I said, me being detailed and honest and open sets the tone for you feel comfortable with sharing with me and actually helping me. So yeah. So I've learned through my childhood, I'm the oldest of three siblings, and then I have three children. I'm the only one that have kids out of my siblings. And anyway, so me being a shy, timid kid, when I tell you I was scared of almost everything when I was a child, loud noises, dogs barking, and you know how the cars do the when they make the oh dang, when they do, when just loud cars, like the loud noises the cars make. I was scared of that. Like y'all, I'm a Pisces. I'm a water sign. I actually love water, but I do not know how to swim. That is one of my goals for this year. It was supposed to be a goal last year, but it is definitely going to be a goal this year for me to learn how to swim. However, when I was a kid, I was really the type of kid that I didn't like being splashed in my face at all. I hated it. Okay. So I was the type of kid who, like, kids would get in my pool, and if they would splash me, I don't know why. Like, growing, like, as an adult now, I don't know why I didn't just kick them out of my pool instead of me getting out of my own pool. Right? Like, crazy. But, whatever. And I was scared to walk by the sewers. Like, I am one of the biggest horror fanatics ever, but I am terrified of clowns. I don't know what it is. I just don't like clowns. I don't like clowns, and I don't like I like this part of the mime. It's the makeup. I don't. Yeah. So as a child, I watched the movie It, and I don't know why, but I was scared to death to walk. I didn't like walking by the sewers, walking near sewers or anything like that, because my weird ass thought that it was a man that was gonna fucking ask me to get down there. So I didn't like walking by him at all. And I was terrified of clowns. And I still am. And I'm actually trying to work through it to overcome it. Um I like I said, I believe there's something that I don't know, it just creeps me out about their makeup. Like, it give me a creepy vibe. Like, I don't know. And then me being an empath and stuff like that, I pick up on energies. Period. Like, it just doesn't. I could just walk into a room and I just read the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, read the room type. So I just pick up a vibe or energy from it that just don't sit. It just don't sit right with me. And like I said, so I did actually try getting over that. Where I did watch the It movie as an adult, and as an adult watching it, I'm looking at myself like, what? But then I could understand. I was a child. I don't like, I don't know why that movie, out of all the movies I've watched as a child, didn't scare me, but that one did. Um so yeah, so as a teenager, I did start coming out of my shell and being a little bit more social, and thinking the friends I had were my actual friends. It took me, I don't even really want to say 13, 14 years to actually, like, to know, because it didn't take me long to know. I'll say it took me that long to actually let go and actually be okay with letting go and not feeling guilty about letting go. is one of those things where it's like you always knew something was off. You know, like that's how observant I am. Like I've always been one of them people that I was very big on not really being around a bunch of people, not having a lot of friends or a lot of uh a lot of anything, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't even big on my friends bringing new people into the situation or into the circle and all. I wasn't like that. I'm really the type of person that, you invite me out, I'm gonna say who all there and all that type of stuff. If I don't know who's there, I'm really might not go. Or if you say the wrong person, I'm definitely not going. So um and like I said, I am extremely observant. I am. Like, I peep hand movements, body language, facial expressions, everything. You know, I let a lot of things slide to keep the peace and to always be the bigger person. So even as a young teen mom, I've always been about my kids and wanting to, be better, be the peacemaker and, not be problematic because I'm not a problematic person. I don't like drama. I really don't like conflict because what for what? It's not necessary, Just because the relationship didn't work out or the friendship didn't work out, that don't mean I hate you. I don't. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that I don't like you. That does not mean that I'm going to be tarnishing your character or talking bad about you or, telling all your secrets. I'm not doing all that. For what? Like, for what? Where does that get me? You know? Um, so, like, I'm, I also, like, I really, really actually, you know, I grew up in the 90s. We were taught to think before you speak or think before you do. So I've really never made a decision without actually carefully thinking about it thoroughly. Like when I say thinking about it thoroughly, like I overthink. I overthink. I get anxiety, things like that. So a lot of that is because I had trust issues. Like I don't trust a lot of people. Um, I really don't. So if you see me around anybody, I trust them. But even now, I'm really, really like when I tell you, I actually consider myself to have not one friend. I do. I mean that. Like I really, really mean that. Um, I'm just with my kids and you know in the house right now. I'm in family mode right now. If y'all understand what that means. So, and then I'm also like, I'm regrouping. Like I said, I'm healing a lot of things, just like I'm helping you heal. I'm still healing a lot of things as well. These are just some of the things that I have healed from or am currently healing from, still healing from, and actually fully letting go of to help you learn how to let go of those things and just love you better, make better choices. You know what I'm saying? Do better because when you have a clear mind, a clear set, or at least just a clear plan, a goal in your life, it's easier when you don't have um, negativity around you or people that are constantly speaking down on you, looking down on you, frowning their faces up at you. You don't need that, especially if you're already going through a million and one things. You definitely don't need none of that going on. So, yeah, and like I said, because I let a lot of things slide because when I say I'm the person that I'm gonna think about how I feel, how my kids feel, how the other person feel, how this person feel, how that, how the actual outcome could be. That's over analyzing, overthinking, overly But it has to be done because you gotta actually put those things into place. And you gotta actually put those things into play. It's easier when you can somewhat detach from people easily and not act off of emotions right away, and or always act off an impulse. Where I'm not gonna say that I'm not an impulsive person. I've calmed down on being impulsive because I definitely did get into a space where I impulsively did things, like I impulsively bought things, or things like that, because I was gradually coming out of people pleasing and being there for any and everybody that really wasn't given to me, things like that. So, and I was raised around a blended family. So I was always nice, level headed and smart. A lot of people take my kindness for weakness, and it's not to be treated, it's not. I'm going to treat people how I want to be treated. And that's just who I am as a person. I don't handle. Why am I going to walk around being mean and nasty to people? And that's not even who I am as a person. I wouldn't want nobody treating me like that. So why am I going to be that way? Now, I'm going to always treat you how I want to be treated first. Now, please don't misunderstand me now. Just because like I said, I'm actually very forgiving, because like I said, I'm super sympathetic to people. I understand people. I understand why people are the way they are, why they do the things they do. So I always either let people kind of forgive them. I gave a lot of people a lot of leeway. A lot of leeway. But when I was done, I was done. It's no coming back. It's no none of that, none of that. Because I know, I've always known that, because that's how I always move. I move with good intentions and pure. I'm not out here scamming nobody. I'm not out here looking to, cause harm to nobody. None of that. None of that. Especially people with kids. I love kids. I have my own kids. I love kids. I'm super nurturing, gentle. Any child that's ever been in my care, they love me. They love me and they love being around me. That's just what it is. Not on the weird shit, but I love to teach and empower and nurture and guide. I like to be the parent or the mentor or the guide that I didn't have in a lot of ways. Yeah, so a lot of these things were actually a part of that. So my family have a background with addictions and things like that, which I'm super proud of my dad, because he went through drugs and using drugs and selling drugs, and now he's in recovery, and he's actually a role model for the rest of the family that they took steps after that, because they see what it's like. Now, I'm not gonna say that I myself have been addicted to drugs. I only smoke weed. Okay, here and there, and I drink here and there, but it's not to the point where I need to have it, and if I don't have it, I act a different way or whatever. No, this ain't that's not that. However, there are other addictions. There are other ways to get addicted to things, and people don't realize that. You can get addicted to food, you can get addicted to sex, you can get addicted to sugar, because that's actually a thing. And to be honest, you don't even realize, we don't realize actually how much sugar and caffeine is in majority of the food that we eat and drink until you decide to change your diet and actually look at what you're putting in your body. You don't realize that until then. And that actually, when you actually start to detox your body from that, it is really like you're detoxing from an actual drug, because sugar is a drug. People don't realize that it's just as addictive as anything else. People get addicted to love, money, material things. They actually have a show on TV about, people having strange addictions and things like that. So it's so many things that you can get addicted to. And just because you are addicted to something, that does not make you a bad person. Because there are so many reasons for how people got addicted to what they are addicted to now, or everybody has a story. Yes, we have common stories, but everybody's story isn't the same. Some people just genuinely wanted to try it and didn't realize how strong it was. And then you have people that, were hanging around the wrong people, or, guided by the wrong individuals, or have the wrong parents that got them addicted to those drugs. And now they just strung out and don't know, what's left from right. And it's not to say that they're at fault, because you should be able to trust the people that you call your friends and your family. But that this also comes with learning who you can and cannot be around, who you need to be around and who you don't need to be around. And a lot of times we don't actually realize how far and how much that actually damages us. They tell us in our families, especially black families, that blood is thicker than water, and it's not. Because they always want to prepare you for the people in the street, but your family want to fuck you over before the streets ever do. Unfortunately, that's not for everybody, but for a lot of people out here, it is. It is exactly that. And so, like, even as a teenager, when I was, first starting out, things like that, I was always aware of my limits. Did I go overboard sometimes? Absolutely. I was like, you know, 16, 17, 18. So, yeah, but then even with that, I really wasn't like out, in the street really drinking and all that stuff. No, it was usually the group of friends that I hung around. We would go to the store or whatever, get our bottles and stuff, and we would drink and smoke like that. That's it. That's all. Or we would go to somebody's house that we was cool with. There was a house party, and we would dance and drink and eat food. That's it. That's it. Whereas in some scenarios when certain things happen, absolutely. I'm not gonna get into that part because that's not the part of the video that we're talking about right now. So I was definitely more of the mom of the group anyway. And that actually, it was kind of weird how the tables turned now that I'm looking back, because when I was in like kindergarten, I think I want to say, maybe first grade, kindergarten, first grade, I used to go to this little school, Germantown, and I used to want to hang out with the older kids, with like the eighth graders and stuff. And and then she was like, "Little girl, no." You know what I'm saying? Like, no, But I don't. That's what I wanted to do, but then the tables turned at some point, and I somehow got accustomed to being around people that was a little bit younger than me in some kind of way. I don't even know how that happened, in some kind of way. And then I wound up seeing myself as more of a mentor in a way, because I made mistakes that I didn't ever want to see other young girls or girls that were younger than me making the same mistakes, or going down the path that they didn't need to go down. Or, there were things that they really could avoid that they didn't need to be in. So it's like, yeah, so I've always been the one everybody come to or came to. The one who supports everybody and give advice and help, and I've always been the loyal, you know what I'm saying, a loyal person. That's just me. Especially, like I said, when you grew up in the 90s and 80s and things like that, there were codes, girl code, guy code, things like even gang code, street code. It was codes and things that you live by, morals, integrity, and stuff like that you live by. Things that you just didn't do, or you just didn't go against the grain, and all that type of stuff that people actually did. But I did not. It's people out here that actually think that I slept with they dudes or anything like that. No, I actually turned them down. And then I actually stopped hanging around with y'all. Because it got weird, you know? But that's neither here nor there. Different, different thing. Um, but yeah, and then that was, like I said, so even romantic relationships, friendship, and as a result of me being left out, overlooked a lot, and teased for being different. Like I said, I've always been different. I've always been like shy but timid. You know what I'm saying? Quiet but not really quiet. I've dressed different than everybody. I didn't dress, you know, like what was the hottest trends or anything like that. And a lot of times I was actually the joke of the group or the kiki or whatever. But a lot of times those same girls that was sitting up there trying to, you know, make jokes about me in front of the guys that we were hanging around, those people didn't know that, yeah, you're you're making fun of how I dressed, but behind closed doors, when we go out and when we hang out, you're actually going through my closet. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times the shirt you was wearing was mine. But that's neither here nor there, right? Um so it's like I've always, after a while, I started really to become a loner, and just be with my kids. And I might have hung around people here and there, but I've always been with, once I had my daughter, I got pregnant at 18. I had my daughter at 19. So it was like, yeah, even right before, a little bit before I got pregnant with her, I actually started, oh no, I need to get a job. You know what I'm saying? I need to do this or I need to do that. So it was certain things that I started to either separate myself from then. I was smoking weed then. You know what I'm saying? That's when I really started, actually, when I was like 18. So And then, yeah, so like right around that time, I actually stopped on my own. That's the thing. That's not something that I need to do. Do I like it? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's not something that I need to have. I just love life in general. I'm just happy in general. So, I worked and always went for what I wanted. Like, when I had my daughter, that was when I actually made the choice to want to be more of a stay at home mom and more of like, I wanted to have my own business. I wanted to, create because I've always been artistic. I've always had my own thing. Like even in middle school, I used to draw like graffiti letters and stuff like that. And I actually had a friend that